Morning. Got a delivery this morning. Some silage is on its way. Dad's fueled the old gal up so she's ready for an unload. Here we are. Here's a fresh delivery for us. Decided to get Terry Clark from Sharpton in to move them because he's got these bale trailers with decent tyres. So I thought these would come from like 12 miles away. If we had to move them with our bale trailers, we're gonna have trouble because the amount of blowouts that we had back in the summer when we were moving straw. That and his trailers are bigger, so he can move a lot more at once than what we can. Dad's busy grass measuring just there. He's trying to see how much grass we can grow. That's his lot. Terry's off. First load's in. I'll leave this here. We're expecting another couple of loads today. At some point, I'm gonna stack them here so they're easy to get to. I'm sure Terry said that there's like 3 of them on it, and we're going to use about half of it today, and then we're going to use that up, and then they're going to bring the rest another week when they've got time. But at the minute they're pretty busy because obviously it's dry and people want muck spreading and ploughing doing ready for maize and God knows what else, so he's got a lot on. Oh, and I'll let you know what grass growth is doing when Dad's finished measuring. He did say this morning he measured some out the back here, and that was doing about 10 kilos, which is okay considering it's what, March, and we haven't had any fertilizer on or anything yet, so I think that's not too bad one way or another, but we have had a good week. Well, this one's load number 6. I thought we were only having 3 load today, but never mind. More the merrier. Let's see how quickly we can do this one. There we go. Bye-bye, driver.
Bye-bye, driver.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Another load, apparently. Gonna do 3 more. Jesus. If anyone's wondering what we're on, this what we've bought, it's haylage rather than silage, and the reason why we've gone for haylage is we can feed haylage in the yard, and it's pretty all right for cows. Like, it's fine for suckler cows. We can feed it up the trough as well, and we can also bale and roll haylage out to cows at grass. So when we start calving, if we ever start calving, because they're just dragging their heels, I thought we'd be started by now, especially them Dyson cows. Anyway, when we do start calving, we can turf cows and calves out fairly rapid, and we can supplement grazing with some haylage and bale and roll it. So it's kind of a bit of a triple-edged sword. Is that a thing? But well, whatever, it is now. That's what we're going to do, so we can use it in loads of different ways. Dad's giving the Corvus a bath and going in for its service. I think it's done about 10,000 miles now. We've got more straw shredder trouble. You might remember we put a new motor on here, which is all running fine, but the floor chain is not going round. So we think that the motor sits inside a sort of boss in there, and we think it's worn and it's not spinning. So the plan is that we're going to take the motor off and see what we can find. I'm hoping there's a shaft that runs all the way through, and that's what the chain sort of sits on and spins around. And I'm kind of hoping that maybe it's double-ended and we'll just be able to spin that, but won't know until we get it off. So, see how it happens. Okay, so here's what we're trying to do. We want this shaft out here. It's this end which is worn, and this is the other side. And we're hoping that we'd have splines in here, so I just have to spin it. But the splines in here are 540, and in the other end they're 1000. So we can't just spin it. So I've just spoke to the guys at Wardman's at Matlock. Turns out, I'm gonna have to split the chain on the floor, drop the chain forward, lift the whole drive shaft out, order a new drive shaft directly from Ireland at McHale, which could take 3 to 5 days to get here. It's already Wednesday, so that's probably not going to turn up till next week. And then put the new one in. So it's a bloody nightmare, one way or another. The joys of this job, I'll tell you, it's all good fun at the minute. Okay, so we've got the slats off. The bar is loose, but it's an absolute nightmare to try and get out through that little hole there and there. And Dad's in a meeting, so I think I need a hand to jim it from the outside and lift it from the inside, and I managed to slip my wrists and my hands are covered in blood. Just, yeah, good fun. So I'll wait for him to be done his meeting and then we'll have another go. Well, that escalated quickly. Honestly thought we'd just be able to pop that roller out from the front, but the gap was just not big enough. So we rang a bit of a McHale specialist up, a guy who does a lot of McHale stuff, and asked him if he'd ever done one, and he was like, oh, you need to take the floor out. So the floor comes out. We have to get these pins out of here. So there's some pins in here that adjust the pressure, like the tension on the slats. We We had to pull the pins out. They were rusted in. We had to use like a reverse hammer, like a slide hammer, to get them out. So we used the slide hammer to get them out. Finally got those out, took this plate out, which is at the back, and then once you've got that plate out, you can lift the floor out as one piece and pull it out. It's not as big a job as it looks, but it's took all day. But we're there now. We're just got to wait for the new pipe to come, and then we can put it in and put it all back together, and hopefully it'll work fine. But until then, it's just handballing bales. Great. Might have spoken a little too soon on the old calf front. Look what we got. Look at that beauty. It's a little purebred stabilizer heifer calf. I'm not sure where Mum is. She might have just gone in for some food. 11:22 the Mum is. She's got a little yellow tag. So we use these big yellow tags on both sides, and she's got one of them, it's a smaller one. But it's a purebred stabilizer heifer calf. It's up, it's sucked. It calved on its own. We just found it in the yard. It's exactly what we want. Well chuffed and that little thing. So we're going to get some ear tags in that, and then we'll probably try and get it out to grass because this weather looks like it's holding. But look at her. What a beauty. Look at you. Hey, yeah. You're cute. I haven't weighed it yet, but we'll do that when we tag it. But some of these are really bagging up now. So I think we'll be pretty imminent. That one's probably about a week early because it's not actually out of a Dyson cow. It's out of one of our own cows. So it is a little bit early. None of the Dyson cows are calved yet. But they are really starting to bag up. So one of these days, it's just going to go nuts. She's bagging up and all. Look at that. Woo. I am building a new gate for there as well. Bear with me. It's in the workshop. Worst thing about having a broken straw shredder is we have to do all the bales by hand, which takes me back to my youth, takes me back to my childhood. We used to, when I was a kid, we had the Fordson Dexter with a frame thing on the back, and we used to line all the round bales up, and Dad used to go back up, put the Fordson Dexter underneath, lift the bale out, then back into a cattle yard, drop it down, draw forward like halfway, lift it up quick, and it'd flick the bale on its end. They used to unwrap them as kids, tip them over and roll them out. Used to do like 14 bales a day like that when we were kids. Oh, the joys. Now we've got that straw shredder, we don't know we're born. Here we go. Start with some sweat. And if one calf isn't enough, look at this. We got two. What a beauty. Look at you. So small. This is Mum, she's a second calver. And yeah, another one just spat it out. I spotted that one because you can see by the gate, she was at that gate down there. I was just looking at the gate and I thought, that's a small pair of legs. And it'd just been born and she spat it out and it was up and running around. And yeah, it's a beautiful little calf. That's another heifer calf, purebred stabilizer. But yeah, dinky little thing, isn't it? Like a proper little dinky toy. But up and sucked and active and everything you want. I'd much rather have one that is smaller and gets up and does the job than have one that's a big thing that you have to pull out the back, that just takes some getting going. You have to jab the cow with a load of antibiotics and jab the calf up and whatever else. That's what you want from a calf. That's a beauty. Look at her. Beautiful. Perky little thing. Chuff with that. I honestly thought we'd be in full swing of things with the Dyson cows. So obviously that's the second calver, and that's all the second calvers and heifers up in that yard. So that's one of our own. Because those Dyson cows, when they came, they had relatively accurate PD results. So there was some that was like the 6th, 7th, 10th of March, and we haven't had any of them yet. So we'll see. But yeah, we're into the swing of things now. So I think we'll probably try and start the calving vlogs now. Might be a bit few and far between to start off with. And then as things ramp up and we get real busy, we'll put more of them out. A bit earlier than I expected, but it's good. And we'll do some other videos as well. So like some videos when we're doing other things around the farm, because we've got some projects on. So once we're doing those, I'll do those as well on top of the calving ones. I'm making a lot of work for myself, but we'll do it. Last year, if I remember correctly, I think we were 85% calved after 6 weeks. So that's a fair chunk of cows. What's that? It's like 100 odd cows calved in 6 weeks, which I know for dairy farmers not much, but for a suckler cow farmer like us, that's fair going. So things will ramp up pretty soon and pretty quick. And when they do, we're going to be ready, and you guys are going to follow along in the process. I have, however, got a little bit of bad news. We all know Doggy, right? You know, the one that sits up. Well, last week she kind of, I don't know, she took a bit of a turn for the worst. She looked a bit off colour. She went a bit downhill. She was losing condition pretty quick. Couldn't work out really what was going on with her. She was eating fine. She was drinking. Her rumen was working all right. Her manure looked fine. We got the vets out, they checked her over. We looked at her lungs. Her lungs had a little bit of a rasp on it, but nothing particularly untoward. We jabbed her with a bit of worm and fluke just in case it was something like that. But we genuinely didn't know what was going on, and the vets couldn't work it out either. And, well, unfortunately, you know the rest. We lost Doggy, which is sad because that you don't get many characters like her, and yeah, one of them. We tried everything. We didn't know what it was. We still don't know what it was. It doesn't seem like it was anything. It just seemed like it was one of those things. She was fair age. I don't know. You try, but you can't win them all. It does make it worse that it's just before calving too, because you get them all this way and you do all that hard work, and you're kind of like a month off of having something to show for it, and you know, you lose them. But nothing we could do about it. We tried. We did everything we could do, and it was just one of them. Oh, I just realised I forgot to talk to you about grass growth. So whole farm grass growth is at about 3 kilos on average for every hectare on the farm, but that doesn't really give you the full picture. Hey up boy, how are we doing? Good lad, good lad. Just check out these meat machines as well. Woo! Biggest one of these guys are about 500 kilos. A lot of these guys are nearly 500 kilos, which is not too shabby for 11 months old. Anyway, back to grass. So this little chart up here is from AgriNet. This will show you the average farm growth at 3, but that's not the whole picture, because some fields are not growing at all. So those that have been grazed over winter, that have got shorter residuals, they're not really growing. They're probably sat at like 1,600 kilos of dry matter on them, so there's not much on there. And then those that have not been grazed over the winter are growing at sort of 12, 13 kilos. So the average is 3, but some is growing really well and some's not. So what that means is we can still get cattle out on those that have got good covers, because when you start and eat a little bit and you eat into that residual, what you'll get is you'll get an improved grass growth going forward. So those that are growing at 12 kilos, let's say, they're growing 12 kilos now. If we go across them with cows, the regrowth behind the cows will be probably at 17, 18 kilos. So it improves your grass growth. If you get a chunk of grass grazed now, early on, with your priority stock classes, so younger cattle, you'll grow about an extra ton of dry matter over the year. So it's worth noting. Still no action in the Dyson cows either. Oh, come on, girls. Hurry up. Anyway, that's calving vlog number 1 done. If things ramp up, you'll get another one before next week, but we'll just see how things go. And I'm going to go and get some tone fur on, so maiden voyage for that girl. So look out for that one too. Whatever you get up to this weekend, have a good one. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you in a bit. Ta-da!